Here's the rainfall map from what ended last night. 2.10 at PDX, actually a record for yesterday's date. And my colleague Chris McGinnis did a quick record search. Guess what? PDX records go back to 1941. Yesterday was only the 25th time that we've had 2 inches of rain or more in a calendar day. Doesn't happen that often. 5.64 fell in Tillamook. We had about 3 in Eugene, as I mentioned, and then less up north of the Columbia. By the time we got up to Kelso-Longview, it was 1.49. So I mentioned the impact alert continues today, but mainly for the river flood high water areas that are producing the potential detours in some locations. But if you're just hanging out in the city of Portland today, you are fine. We have some breaks, scattered showers. Roadways are relatively dry, actually, in between the scattered showers. The Weather Service right now has in green that flood watch up into tomorrow for the river levels. There's the atmospheric river. It's down south of us, moving into California. You can plainly see up here the scattered shower flow coming in with cumulus clouds. That's a mix of sun breaks and scattered showers. We do have snow levels where they belong, below Cascade Passes. This is Timberline this morning. Remember they had about a foot of snow yesterday, and then it rained, lost a lot of it. Then the snow showers have returned, and today there could be 3 to 6 inches of new snow down to Cascade Pass level during the day. There's one of our sun breaks. Boy, this is really pretty this morning. Enough sun to turn the Pacific blue down in Lincoln City. Parts of Lincoln County, by the way, Newport, which is just south of Lincoln City, had about 8 straight hours yesterday of 50-mile-per-hour plus wind gust. Despite all the wind warnings that come and go along the Oregon coast, we don't really have 8 consecutive hours of 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts very often. We had it yesterday, and that has caused some problems as well. All right, early morning pretty shot of the sun turning the Columbia River yellow, and there's the downtown cityscape. Futurecast is just going to show in blue the snow showers down to 3,000 feet and the scattered showers. We have a shower threat continuing for the weekend, both days, Saturday and Sunday. No organized big storms between now and Christmas Day. So we're clearly going to be quieting down after back-to-back weeks of seeing atmospheric river flows. 40s on the west side today, 30s out east. And with that said, I'll get you to your 7-day, which, as you know, now includes Christmas Day. 47 this afternoon. The impact alert for, yes, the river flooding. 47 tomorrow, fewer showers than today. Pretty good day, a lot of dry time. Rain picks up somewhat on Sunday. Generally speaking, all of these days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or certainly Sunday through Tuesday, up to but not really more than 1/4 inch of rain expected. By Christmas Eve day, more of a sunbreak, few scattered showers. Christmas Day, 47.
Hey, I'm meteorologist Brendan Minchef, and we're going to talk about what an atmospheric river is. It's a term you may have heard, you may not be familiar with it, but you may have heard the term Pineapple Express. Not every atmospheric river is a Pineapple Express. However, as we will learn, every Pineapple Express is a type of atmospheric river. So as we look at the map, these are most common along the U.S. West Coast, especially in the wintertime. However, other parts of the United States, including the Gulf Coast and the Northeast, can see atmospheric rivers. And the Gulf of Mexico can act as that moisture source for atmospheric rivers moving up through the southeast and into the northeast. And sometimes you can get a nor'easter that can be attached to an atmospheric river. But let's jump into it. Let's look at the map. Well, when high pressure is sitting off the west coast, what that does is it kind of, for the most part, blocks the moisture from coming in. When high pressure slides a little bit further to the south, and especially when it's coupled with a storm passing through either British Columbia or the Pacific Northwest or even Northern California, what can happen is it can tap in to this atmospheric river. And what that is, it's a narrow band of moisture, about 1,000 miles long or so, and it can pull in a lot of tropical moisture into an area. For instance, this textbook example is showing it impacting California. And when that happens, it can bring a lot of rain. And if it's cold enough or your mountains are high enough, it can bring a lot of snow with it. This type of setup here, where it originates near Hawaii, is a Pineapple Express. Here's some more facts about an atmospheric rivers. Atmospheric rivers carry 7.5 to 15 times the flow of the mouth of the Mississippi River. They vary. Some of them are stronger, some of them are weaker, but they are very, very wet systems, and that's why we get a lot of rain from these. And atmospheric river events are responsible for the majority of the water supply on the U.S. West Coast. Here is a satellite image of an atmospheric river. Again, this is a type of atmospheric river that we might call a Pineapple Express. It originates near Hawaii. High pressure sits here, and so it brings this moisture, for instance, here into California. But if your high pressure is a little bit further north, it can bring that moisture up into the Pacific Northwest. Again, this setup here is a Pineapple Express. So to be clear, a Pineapple Express is an atmospheric river that pulls moisture from Hawaii. But not every atmospheric river is a Pineapple Express. This one here, here's another example. You see the atmospheric river extending out from Hawaii, but that moisture is being pushed into the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia. So every Pineapple Express is an atmospheric river, but not every atmospheric river is a Pineapple Express. And we rank atmospheric rivers based on two things: by the amount of water in them and how long that atmospheric river is going to last. So a weak or level 1 atmospheric river is primarily beneficial, not a lot of flood risk, relatively the same for a level 2 moderate atmospheric river. By the time we start talking about a level 3, AR3 on the scale here, that's a stronger atmospheric river. It's both equal parts beneficial and hazardous, but as soon as you start working your way up in strength to AR category 4, AR category 5 on the scale, well, that means now we're talking about atmospheric rivers that are mostly hazardous or primarily hazardous, meaning they have so much moisture and they're going to last for so long that the flood risk is much higher.